If you've got some flower beds that are constantly full of weeds and taking more time than you want to spend maintaining them, this video will show you how to quickly and fairly inexpensively transition that into a rockscaped area that looks a lot nicer and is easier to maintain. The first step is to prepare the ground by getting rid of any of the weeds. Try to level the dirt as much as you can and put in any permanent plantings that you want. In this case, I'm using a couple of small sumac trees. These are drought tolerant, native to where I live, and they'll grow up to be 12 to 15 feet tall. Now you want to put down some durable weed barrier, overlap each section, and pin it down with small pins or stakes, either the ones that come with it or the ones you can buy online pretty inexpensively. We got our weed barrier at Costco. A very large roll is pretty cheap and was more than enough for this job. So the next step is to position any large rock elements. We use some flagstone steps that take us over to our water source, and a couple of larger rocks that I had available from other projects, just to break up the symmetry a little bit, make it look more natural. At this point, you want to apply some river cobblestones. We use the 2 to 4 inch size. I really like the look of that, and it keeps the weeds out pretty well. We got it from a local landscape center. We found it easiest to haul it over in a garden cart or a wheelbarrow and then use buckets to spread it out. You also want to leave a gap somewhere in your design for an accent color that'll really break up the symmetry. And that's the next step, is to find your accent stones. We use one called Purple Passion, and place those in the gap that you left between the cobblestone sections. These rocks always look a little dusty and faded when you get them, but once you spray them off, the colors really pop, and they'll just look more colorful over time as the dust gets washed off of them in the rain and the sprinklers. This is how this section looks a year later. And these trees are doing great. The rocks still look great. It's been very low maintenance. We use those flagstone steps quite a bit. It's really been a good addition to our landscape plan. This is another small section we did in a similar way, but instead of permanent plantings, we're using pots with flowers. We could put seasonal plantings in there, and a couple of solar lights to add to the effect. One more flower bed I don't have to weed. And finally, one more area where we've used the rocks around an established tree. Again, I used a darker red accent color with some river cobble to just give it a nice contrast and texture. Hope you enjoyed this. Good luck on your project.